At some point our species appears on this planet, Homo sapiens. At first, this species lives in small groups, engaging in hunting and gathering. From time to time, these small groups encounter one another. Sometimes they are hostile, sometimes friendly. The key point is that this can go on indefinitely. A state cannot arise at the level of hunting and gathering because there are not enough resources for it. Imagine living in a society of 50 to 200 people. You produce nothing because you do not yet know how. To survive, you must constantly hunt and go into the forest. You find what you find, and that is all. From time to time, you encounter other communities living in exactly the same way. Under such conditions, civilization cannot be built, because the question of life and death is decided literally every day. After some time, humanity masters agriculture and animal husbandry. This is the key precondition for the emergence of the state. Once you learn to raise livestock and cultivate the land, food surpluses appear. Everyone is fed, and something remains. This allows you to settle in one place and produce even more food. You already know how to build dwellings. Now you can sow everything around you, and there is plenty of land. Because you no longer move and are fully supplied with food, you can reproduce on a much larger scale. Your planning horizon also expands. You're no longer limited to a couple of days and can look months or even a year ahead. A new life begins, more predictable, safer, and more secure in terms of subsistence. However, problems arise at the same time. From time to time, you will be raided by those who, for one reason or another, chose not to engage in agriculture and herding. You will be robbed and will be unable to do anything about it, because these outsiders live by raiding. It is their way of life. At this point, something crucial happens. Those who live by raids do not immediately but eventually realize that instead of coming, looting, and leaving, they can come, loot, stay, and continue looting. To do this, they need to subjugate a group of herders and farmers and take a portion of the product they produce. This is not difficult, because force is on their side. If they succeed in subjugating these people, and, crucially, in holding on, then the following occurs. More time passes, and new generations are born. For them, the existing system of relations, where there are those with weapons to whom we must give, will be considered normal. No one will remember that things were once different. Those with weapons will no longer be perceived as alien bandits or as obvious evil, because they will now be called the nobility. They will stop killing and raping indiscriminately, becoming their own. They will live in special houses, and their right to power will be sanctified by the gods. Special myths and laws will appear for this purpose, and they will be revered by everyone, both the upper and lower strata. Anyone who disagrees with this order will be punished harshly. For this, the nobility, the descendants of the conquerors, will have special militarized units that are well paid and maintain order. This is how the state arises. Over time, it will, of course, evolve and become more complex. New structures and dimensions will appear within it, but its nature will remain unchanged. This nature is systematic, organized, conscious violence for the purpose of economic exploitation. What is the state in practice? The state is people, but not all people, very specific ones. The state consists of officials from the three branches of power, executive, legislative, and judicial, plus the coercive apparatus, police, security services, and the military. The state is the president, a very concretely individual with a biography, speech, ideas, appearance, and style of dress. It is ministers, generals, colonels, judges, mid-level and lower-level civil servants. Imagine a police officer maintaining order at a rally, or an official to whom you submit documents for a passport. You have just imagined part of the state. This emphasis matters because when we reason in terms such as the state is a good, or speak of the homeland or the Leviathan, we tend to picture some vague, abstract entity that is hard to approach. Realizing that the state always consists of concrete people changes the perspective. Now, based on ordinary life experience, one can ask, what are people like? They differ, of course, but all have enduring flaws. Some constantly lie, some cannot tolerate criticism, some do not value other people, some are ready to do anything for power. What changes after such an ordinary person becomes part of the state? Nothing changes. All of that person's flaws remain, but now they acquire a certain degree of power, and, with it, a degree of impunity. This, in turn, means their flaws can be given freer rein. If not completely, then at least more than before. and the higher the position, the greater the temptations.